Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us use them wisely in the service of our town code. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Say the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll open it to the public. Anybody from the public has anything? Nobody? Okay, need approval of minutes of the meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the last September 9th meeting.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have code enforcement officer. Mike's report. And we have 3 zoning board, 3 months, June, July, and August. Information. And then I have the letters back from McEwen. The letters I sent out about Eris, I have one from Orloff, Betty Little, and McHugh. 3 of them that have responded to the ones that we sent out. And this is not on the agenda, but Jack Farber went out again and got a grant. And we have a computer come.
That's on the computer?
Yep, and it's a nice one, bigger than what he got last time, free of charge. Jack did a nice job of it. And they're looking for a new program, but I think they're a little bit ahead of what's going on. It's something to do with this new water station. They're gonna set up a DOT stop checkpoint. And this program will have something to do with this, entering the tickets, right, Jane?
It will allow more than one clerk to enter tickets at a time, so that if in fact the volume increases to what they expect it to be, they will be able to handle the workload.
And Jack would like to get this program now, and I think we're a little too quick. I'd rather wait and see what's gonna happen before we jump into it.
Let's have a meeting with both of them.
Yeah, okay. But Jack did a good job on this other, I'll give him a chance to look into this one. On that turnaround on the Glode Road, Sam, Are you gonna check into this?
Well, I was looking to see what you had on the record, how much of a turnaround we had there.
How do we find this out now?
I gave him what I had, which is only that letter that you wrote.
That's
Back in
what
those days when we had these new roads, they just put in turnarounds, they didn't go through the process of getting the land turned over to them. That's been there a long time, that turnaround. Like any of these other dead-end roads we got, we just put them in. I don't think we ever had the deed for them and surveyed them and all that.
Where's this?
Well, this is the Glode Road. but
Glode Road.
Any of these old roads.
Glode Road, up by the Buckhead's Bridge. You make that first left in there. They don't have room to turn around in there. Sam wants to know how much land that we have in there for a turnaround.
Who owns it? Next to that.
We don't know who owns it.
Did you get a mark coming down in that corner?
No, they don't get that far.
But they've always turned around in there for years. All of a sudden, I don't know who the guy is that lives down there, but he put a fence up, didn't he, Mike?
Last year.
And he's got cars in there, he's got stuff in there. So when they go in there to plow, they don't have room to turn around, and then they gotta back out of there. Are you gonna follow through on this? See what?
Gotta try to find out, yeah, I'll check with Ralph, see where else we can go.
Go down to the county real property office, they have maps of the roads. That's the wrong place I could send them.
Was that the Romy Dumanel's house?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's only 2 houses down there, ain't Guy Juno, isn't it?
No, 3 or 4, isn't it?
See, I was always a dead-end road there.
Three
Always dead end.
houses.
The other ones
They always
used to go
turn around
across.
there and say, well, this guy put up fences, claims his land.
I'll have to find out who owns the property.
Don't plow it, no.
Talk to the county highway engineer and see what happens in these dead-end roads that you've had this for years and used them for years. Do we get any kind of eminent domain or something on them, or like
Well,
any
you-
road that we got? A
You
lot of
wouldn't
these
think the
roads,
state would have bought that property when they closed that for the interstate, didn't they?
Yeah,
I don't think it went that far, did it?
they close the
Yeah,
other
didn't
side of
that-
the river.
didn't that go across into Moore Street?
No.
No, not there.
Not there,
Oh,
the other side of the river.
The other side did. Okay.
That's why they built the turnaround there then. That one, they had nothing to do with it.
There's a state marker in there.
See, when the interstate went through, they put the turnarounds in.
Yeah,
They
they
didn't touch
probably,
that one.
they probably took that turnaround away that was in there though.
Not on that part, possible. Well, if they took it, they would have replaced it. They did all the other ones.
Can you check in the county road, find out?
Yep.
And we've got a letter. Got a letter from the JCEO, asking for their check. That was due in June. They told us who took Donna's place. It's a good time to tell us. I mean, Donna resigned in January, and just find out,
They tell us now.
just tell us now.
Yeah, was there,
You want money?
Yeah, they want to-
was that money deal there, did they maintain that office while she was out?
Yep. They had,
No rebates?
no, and Marcy, somebody, two different girls that worked in here. Then they worked with her for a week and a half, showing her what to do. Another notice from North Country Golf Course is booking Christmas parties. Of course. And they have now a national bosses luncheon day, October 16th.
October 16th?
Yep. Francis turned in his report on the trucks. If you guys want a copy of it, it's up to date of what we spent on machinery. From that computer program.
I want it.
Okay, we have the agreement. You guys will look through it for the union.
Yeah.
And we have to vote on it. Bob Rogers did a good job for the town, I think. I think it's a good contract. Do I have a motion to accept it or turn it down?
I make a motion that we accept the contract.
Have a second.
Second.
Roll call vote, John Paul,
Yes.
Clifford,
Yes.
Jules,
Yep.
Supervisor votes yes. Okay, some of this other stuff, a lot of stuff here, I'm not gonna go through all of it. This is the one that, on the water tower, that Ross's plant was looking for. We passed the meeting, and they make them exempt on the water tower back in, Arnie was supervisor.
I researched that thing after Pat said something about that. That thing was passed in, 3 years ago. And it was passed that when the village of Rossborn acquired the land, that would go into tax-free land. Have they processed that deed yet? If they haven't processed that deed, we can't give Harris a tax-free bill on that.
Because the bill would be sent to Harris.
Huh?
The bill would be sent to Harris.
That's right. But the village of Ross's Point should be, I mean, they were told about this a year and a half ago. You know what I'm talking about? If it belongs to Harris, we can't exempt it. We exempted it because the village of Ross Point was buying it. That's 3 years ago, and they hadn't passed the paperwork on it yet, unless it came through here in the last month.
I haven't seen
Pat would be the only one who would know.
it. Usually, yeah, Val usually uses a copy of something.
I mean, I don't know what the problem is here, of getting that across, right?
So do the work. Our lawyer has to do the work.
That's right. And normally you don't pass those unless you get the paperwork on it. No hearsay. Right?
Yep.
If that's the case, the $500,000, what happens to the assessment on that? Does that go into the budget, into the assessed valuation?
We'll get at that when we get on the budget here.
If we're going to Harris assessments, they still own the land.
But I mean, I'm talking town-wide assessment for the 2004 budget.
It'll make a difference.
And we better contact Ross's Point, find out before we put that in the budget. Because that will make a difference. It's a lot of money. Right? Right now, we're gonna leave it out because if the paper goes by in a couple of months from now, we're not gonna be in very good shape in that respect.
We can look into
Okay, we have some from Clinton County Rail property.
So what?
We can read that stuff. I don't read all of it.
No.
I know. One here, Mike, did you find out any more about that well that was condemned in Paris Mills? Ramo from,
Oh, the one that they sent, no? They just, the health department just sent us a letter saying that we should require that on building permits that they drill wells a minimum of 150 feet deep. Is that what you said?
I don't think that's, I
That's it.
don't think that's us to decide.
I'm in trouble, I got 350.
There's another one on clean water. Another one on
That's good water.
JCO, this is their bill, $7,777.50 for the outreach.
That's in on the voucher.
Yeah. We vote on that, or is it on the voucher?
it. That was the 2003 contract, we paid them twice a year, in January and then supposedly in July, but we held up in the July payment.
And next is easement for Parker Brothers, for the water and sewer. Much more. And this is from Burma, your claims, we had 2 claims this year. And this is a contract at New England Waste for plowing. What about that? Do we have to vote on this, or we
Just,
contract for New England Waste for plowing it?
usually don't they send us a contract?
There's no figure on that, anymore.
That's the landfill.
Yeah,
They
they usually send down what they're paying per hour, or,
It's usually sent down what they pay per hour. usually.
yeah,
Is it
Haven't
an
seen
hour,
it.
or is it every time that you?
every time you go in, yeah.
Is it 100, it has been $100.
$600.
$60 an hour.
Huh?
60.
$60 per hour for plowing, $60 an hour for sanding.
It used to be $100 every time we went in, every time we plowed it.
Well, you plow and sand together anyway, don't you?
Yeah, but sometimes you've gotta just go in and sand, you know?
So for $100 it'd be, if it's, what'd you say, 60 for plowing, how much for sanding?
It's $60 an hour.
For plowing and $60 for sanding.
Who's responsible in there for the roadway? blacktop.
I checked with the county, I'm not sure, they don't seem to
That's
want
not
to
our
do anything.
responsibility.
No, that's not ours.
Is it the county or Casella?
That I don't know, I told them
Well,
about
I
the
should
holes
find
in
out
there.
because it's a lot of ruts,
Yeah.
a lot of bad
Big
holes
yeah.
there, and a few people told me about it. And,
Yeah.
I was up there the other day and I noticed that, and I said, well, I'll find out who's responsible to fix that. If it's county or Casella. Want to check that out?
Yep.
What do we, you can do with this contract?
You wanna hold it till next
Hold it
meeting?
till you,
Check out that $100 or $60. $100 better than 60. You think it was 100 last year?
I know it was, Jay.
Yes.
They're giving us less.
The county pays that, right?
They're giving you more.
$100 an hour, $60 an hour?
We send them,
120.
when you go
Plowing
in
and
to plow
sanding
and
the same
sand,
time?
however many times, we send them a bill.
To the
for-
county.
To the county.
Right.
Well, we send it to New.
It was 50 at
New-
one time.
New England
Yeah,
Waste Service.
not too long ago.
That's right.
right here.
Was that 50 or $50 a mile?
You know, for every time we went in there. But we wouldn't be able to do that other road.
I mean, what's the mile when we plow the county roads, when we get there?
For the year,
Well, we-
per mile?
We got, yeah, per mile.
Jeez. I forget what it is, but what is it, we're getting around 60,000 this year, I think, for plowing 20 miles?
It was a 3-year contract
Yeah.
last time we signed it, and I don't recall the exact figure.
55 to 60,000, I think.
I can pull it out if you want me to.
No, but that has nothing to do with this year.
No.
No, I was just wondering.
No.
No, that's separate. This
Yeah.
contract is separate from that.
What do you wanna do in this, guys?
But you're gonna get $120 every time you go in there when you're plowing sand then.
Better than $100.
What?
That's better than $100.
That's right. So you better leave it the way it is.
You wanna agree on it? You wanna vote on it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we accept.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
This is from the state. They went in and inspected our gravel pit. Found one little area that Sam got to go in and take care of. A report from PERMA, and we've done real well as far as our points on insurance. Mike and Tim have done a good job. Out of a total of 630, we have 515, so we're doing good. And by getting those points, it lowers our insurance. This is a contract we already voted on for Lorraine, our property. Parker Brothers on the meter. St. Mary's Parish is doing a census on the parish here. And they're asking, we need, I said 100 volunteers will be going out. There'll be people knocking on your door. And then we received one from Montgomery Hook and Ladder. It's telling about the fire district that Russ's Plain won't be serving it anymore. Champlain Fire District, the EMS will be taking care of it. Too bad we weren't all together. And then North Country Life Flight, they're asking for a contract, $100 a year. We vote on this one now?
Yeah.
Have a motion on this one? That's for the helicopter.
Yeah. I make a motion, we accept the contract.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Leroy's not here tonight, but we sent out that survey, and he's been taking care of it. And, we have, 441 returns. We have 64 yes, 101 no, and the rest didn't answer. Just left it blank, sent it back to us.
I couldn't figure out on that deal, when we got to Fairbanks Road, they had 12 different parcels in there.
This is what Pat has, because we took it off of Pat's,
Is it the parcels or the people that are running?
parcels, as far as I know.
Okay, because there's an apartment house in there, I thought, what if they gotta do that deal now? Because I was talking to somebody, said, no way, there was 12 parcels in there, so that's what I was wondering about. I'll check that with Pat.
They built a road down there, didn't they?
What?
They extended a road down there, didn't they?
Yeah, that's a private road.
They wouldn't be using the water and sewer.
I don't know, would you be sending it to those people if it's private? And the house is,
If they can't do it,
probably 1,000 feet away from the town.
probably wouldn't want it.
I was just wondering because those are the people that really wanted that thing up there, and you got more no's than yes, and another one were crying about getting water there. But they only had 7 came back, and you had 12 sent out. So 5 didn't come back.
Well, we took this off the program at Pat has.
Okay, I'll find out from her, she got 12 parcels. See if the guy's doing it for more than one day.
Okay, this next one is, I've got a letter here. I'll take it. It's to William Bingo, County Administrator, and Clinton County Legislator's Office. It's, the annual aid agreement contract, and I'm asking that, effective immediately, that we terminate the agreement. We're paying this money to them, and we're not getting anything out of it
How much that now?
on the maintenance aid. Pat doesn't get any help, and we're paying to them. And I asked Meredith, and it's legal, we can do it. And I can't see,
We
I can't,
talked about that a year ago, that we didn't wanna do it.
all right, well, this is our chance, if you guys wanna do it. It's legal.
How much were we sending?
How much is that, Jane?
Maintenance aid,
Yeah.
gets so much a parcel,
It's about $7,000.
it's about $7,000 or $8,000.
Seven something.
I thought it was 12.
No, it's over 7,000.
You split it, I believe it's 50% back to the county. You end up around 3,500.
But I'd like to keep this money and not send it back to the county, because we're not getting nothing for it.
I think that we should keep the money and hire our own people to take care of our own stuff.
You know, that's what I'd like to do. I can't see throwing money away.
What do you need a motion on that?
Yep.
I make a motion, we keep that money.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, I'm done. Good. Okay, court enforcement. Mike Tatro.
Julie and I have attended a couple of classes, one for handicap accessibility 2 weeks ago, and then last week we finished up the rest of our courses. Hopefully we both pass. We won't know till the state notifies us. Other than that, been pretty quiet.
Julie, up there in one other class, right? Clerks,
Oh, yeah,
clerk.
and went to the town clerk in Alexander's Bank. It had to do with the DEC.
A certificate.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mike? Building committee, Jules and Clifford.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
You gonna do some painting next year?
Too late. Inside or out?
In?
Or maybe over the winter.
Paint that hall, do something at that hall?
Where, in here?
Yeah. Place needs to be painted, it ain't been painted in 15 years.
How many years?
15.
The building's only 8 years old.
It looks 15.
70, yeah.
We're not dirty yet. It needs to be done. I don't like painting.
We should look into that, the
This room needs
cool
paint.
weather
Yeah, that
area.
needs
The whole
paint.
building needs to be painted. You do a little bit?
The boys on a rainy day.
No,
Some of them not painted.
You gotta be painters to paint.
Oh, that's the union now, eh?
Yeah.
Grants Committee, Ralph and John Paul.
Nothing,
Board of Assessment Review, John.
nothing.
Highway Committee, Jules and Clifford.
we haven't got back on the Leggett Road yet. Finish that ditch
Which one?
on the upper, the one we started last year.
Yeah, we brought the dozer there this morning, we're gonna get that right at it there. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna rain now, so
Yeah.
that'll help it out. Okay, and then, are we gonna be able to get all those culverts in on Rapid? All right.
If I get these other, I'm pretty well catching up on most of the jobs there. We've got the one in on LaBombard Road, for Bill LaBombard, about by his place. That one there is done. Matt LaFountain's is done. LaFontaine, I guess. The Goki Road, we cleaned the ends out and I had the village come down and blow those out. They were plugged with sand. Those are all opened up now.
You think that's gonna do it without digging a ditch down there?
Oh, it runs right across the road. Runs right to the river.
Okay. You don't think it can be a
We
problem?
did a little scooping out there. There's a pile of dirt that the guy asked for, so we left it there for him.
So that was fixed then?
Yep.
How many we got to do on that Rapid Road deal?
We're going all the way to 9B. I think we got about 7 or so, 8 to put in there.
You don't have too many on that other end though, right? We
No.
replaced one there last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Because we ought to have them all in by fall if we're gonna do that one next year.
Yep. And the one on the Hayford Road in front of George Ducharme's, we got that cleaned out too yesterday.
Did you clean that one out?
Yeah, but when
Plug?
you, the culvert, no. Just that we opened the ditch. But where it circles back to Route 9, to Route 11, it's not crossing the road there. The state's got a problem there. The water's not coming out of there. There's 2 culverts in there and they're
That's the
fairly.
state.
No, on the Hayford Road.
Yeah, but that's on state property, right? The ones right on the intersection?
No, further down.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And the water don't seem to be coming out of there. It's wet out there. We sunk the dozer, we had to pull it and get it pulled out.
On the west side of the road or east side?
Across from George's house. You'll go down through there, you'll see where we opened up a little ditch down through there.
Some springs in there, right?
Gotta be.
There's springs on the west side.
Yep.
But the culvert's all cleaned out now?
Yep.
Cleaned out or go, huh?
Right, he says the state's got a problem holding it back.
It's gonna flood that field, that pasture. I mean, we'll get rid of it, but I don't know how long the
How far
water
are
will
they
stay.
coming with that underpass this year?
I have no idea.
No, they're not going through there.
Well, they could probably grab that or something.
That job's been let. I find out Alder's doing.
Anything else, Jules?
No, they only wanted to make sure we get this Rapid Road deal taken care of.
We got a little ditching we gotta do for the village there, then we'll get it, we should be able to get on those culverts next week.
So we can get ahead of the game here on this
Yep.
spring work deal. That's all I got.
Nothing, right? Water and Sewer Committee, Ralph and John Paul.
Nothing.
Landfill Committee, Jules and John Paul.
Landfill, all the grass has been cut and all the holes have been filled up, everything's all cleaned up. Sometime we ought to, fall, if it's pretty dry, is to probably get the dozer up there and clean on the outside the fence.
Right. Yeah,
Stop that
make
brush
a
from-
path down through there.
There's one spot, you probably won't be able to get it all there, there's a little swamp there, nobody can get in there at all, because it's gonna be a problem, not only with us, but DEC. But that should be cleaned out this fall. That's all.
Are they ready to test that again? Is that gonna be tested again?
They should be testing that this fall,
Now,
monitoring.
October,
They're only monitoring it once a year now.
And,
This year is for in the fall, next year will be spring.
town clerk's report?
Nothing to report. Please, public hearing shortly, finish it up.
Sam, I'll let you start. I might have to interrupt you.
Well, I had down all the culverts we've been doing there. Paving is done, the shoulders are on. We were able to get old Shazy and worked out to deal with them there. We're mowing roadsides right now, we're hauling sand. We started hauling today for the village of Champlain. We got 50 loads to deliver there, 50 loads to deliver to Russell's Point. The other thing is on that point of fair, on that ditch. It's gonna take 9 culverts. Now, we're talking spending $4,000 to $5,000 on this right here to drain that across.
The project we looked at there.
Uh,
That pipe is not gonna work there to start with.
The pipe is gonna freeze. It's gonna be elevated. You're gonna have a hump over the top of it.
It's gonna create more problems than it's gonna do good.
So if we're talking this much money, I'm looking for a board approval on what to do on this right here. Those culverts freeze. Those culverts freeze, there's no way we can thaw them. Not when you're talking 180 feet of culvert.
Well, the county engineer told us to have an open ditch there.
You guys don't wanna do this? Figure it's a waste of money?
I do.
It's not a waste of money to go put 20 loads of blacktop underneath the sand pile? How much money is that talking about wasting?
I thought we told that guy we'd do something about that.
Well, we told them we would.
We told them we were gonna do something
Now we're
about
not
it,
gonna do it. Well,
The engineers told us that Sam and I were both there, and he said that if we should have an open ditch through there, fan ditch, it would take any water, and we know it wouldn't.
we've already been down there, told the guy we're gonna do it. Now we're telling him we're not gonna do it?
I didn't tell him we're gonna put a pipe in there.
Sam's been down there with,
I
and the
know.
men's been down there
Sam
saying they're
told us
gonna
to put
do
a
it. Now
pipe
you're
in
saying you
there,
wanna
and
do
he
it?
No.
We didn't, we went down there and we got the elevation and we figured out how much pipe we would need. I didn't tell him I was gonna do it, I think you did.
Well, we created a problem. And I think we have to solve it. Dumping water in somebody's land, taking from somebody else and dumping it on somebody else, that's not fair.
We'll have to have things in writing that we can get across there,
I got a contract. It's
Got a
been
contract.
approved by a lawyer.
okay? We've gotta,
I just don't think that's right when we take water from somebody else and dump it on somebody else.
That's what they put ditches in for.
You don't put ditches through somebody's property, Jules, right down the middle of it.
It's not in the middle of his property.
that,
It's on a property line.
that ditch has been there since the 60s. I mean,
Well,
it's
it's
not,
still not right.
well, I know.
If it was done in the 60s, it shouldn't have been done. I don't like it.
I don't have the
I
answer.
wouldn't want it done on my property. And we've created a bigger problem by ditching it more sending more water in there now.
You're saying you can't bury the pipe? It's gotta be humped up?
I can't, it's gonna have to be above, we're gonna have to stay the same size as the one crossing the road. I can't go with a smaller pipe down through there.
No, I realize that. But is the pipe gonna be buried?
We'll have to bring dirt in the top to bury it. Because if we bury it too deep, we're gonna be too low for the lake.
You're gonna end up with a hump there, that's gonna look good too, isn't it?
Yeah,
No, that ain't gonna look very, we're gonna
It's good.
create another problem, put a hump in his lawn.
Then the water's gonna go on his property.
I just talked to him today, he was in here, he said Warren went down, Warren explained everything to him, how it was gonna be done, and he's happy the way it's gonna be done.
he explained to him how it would have to be done, yeah.
Yep, and he was happy with it,
He realizes there's gonna be a hump there.
as far as I know.
I don't think so.
Well, then you talk to him, I talked to him today. Do what you want.
He's gotta understand that if that culvert freezes, we will not be responsible if we fight that all the way down through there.
Did you talk to him?
I haven't seen him, no.
You want that in writing?
Yeah. If the culverts freeze, the town is not liable for
It
it.
won't thaw out till the end of May.
Because there's no way I can thaw 1,800 feet of culvert.
I don't think all
What's the
that,
elevation of the pipe when we get the
18,
lake?
you're talking 1,800 feet.
180. 180.
180.
Say, Christ.
Yeah, 9 times 20, 180.
180 feet.
Well, there's no way I can thaw 180 feet either.
What's the elevation of the lake, on the lake?
Not sure. That's a check.
If it's 93, you gotta go to DEC before you do anything.
It's 93.
Get a permit.
Where would I find that out?
DEC?
DC?
I'll have to get the guy's name there, I forgot what it is, his name.
anything else, Sam?
Nope.
I'll do the rest of the bills and afterwards we'll, do
Okay,
it.
sure.
Review of the post audit bills,
Make a motion to pay the post audit bills.
have a second. All in favor?
Right.
Approval of monthly bills,
Make a motion, we pay the monthly bills.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Open it back up to the public. Now,
I'll read it. Well, let's go to the meeting
I'm
first.
gonna close the meeting.
Town Board of Town of Champlain will hold public hearings on Tuesday, October 14th at 7:30 PM at the town offices located at 729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. The purpose of the public hearings will be to hear and discuss opinions on local law number 2, regulating junk and vehicle storage law at 8 PM. Local law number 3, adult use and entertainment regulation law at 7:45 PM. Local law number 4, subdivision regulations 7:30 PM. All persons interested will be given an opportunity to speak, to offer written opinions, either for or against the proposed local law. Copies of said local law are available for review at the town clerk's office. Meeting is open to the public. Other business will be taken up at the meeting. Order of the town board, town of Champlain. Ordered September 9th, 2003. First one is anybody have any questions?
Any questions from the board? Close the meeting. Close the,
Close the meeting, yeah. That's the board number 2.
yeah, number 2. You want to vote on this one or vote on? This is on the junk law.
Right.
Do I have a motion to accept that?
I make a motion to accept that junk.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay?
Close the meeting again.
No. Meeting's already, okay, just go ahead and number 3, I don't use entertainment. I don't use an entertainment regulation.
Vote on that one.
Vote on it.
I make a motion on entertainment, adult entertainment.
Have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the last one is on the subdivision.
Has everybody read the subdivision one? Understand it? Have a motion on it?
Can I make a comment on that, Bruce?
Sure, Carl. I know you put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know me, my name's Carl Shank, and I sit on the zoning board. And subdivision law that's before the board tonight, I wrote, and put a lot of time into it. Mr. Manane, our town attorney, has gone over it, and he liked it. I used about 6 attorneys from the state of New York when I wrote this, and I just want you to know that I feel that this subdivision law will bring you at least 10 to 15 years into the future, which is what we need. We need something in the town that's going to stand up and be helpful to the town. So I just wanted you to know that I did put a lot of time into it, and that it is a good law. All the lawyers that were involved in this seem to agree with that, and if you have any questions, you can ask me, but that's it.
Motion on this?
I don't have any.
I make a motion that we accept the subdivision law. It's, it follows along with state regulations, which has already been in effect before, so.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else? Adjourn the meeting? Adjourn the meeting.
Oh, you have to go with this.
No, we've already done it.
Okay.
We voted on it.
I know we voted on it, but I sent it back out again. I want to get it.
You're not gonna work on the budget in the meeting.
After the
Close the meeting.
meeting is closed, we're adjourned. Have a motion.
There's a motion right there.
Have a second.
Second.
Okay.
We're done.
The flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Open meeting to the public at this time. Anybody wishing to address the board may do so. Anyone wishing to address the board at this time, I will close this section of the meeting. You'll have a chance at the end of the meeting. Minutes of the previous meeting, a regular meeting of April 19th and a special meeting of April 27th. You all have copies. Is there any additions or deletions?
Move we accept the letters written.
Second.
Moved by trustee Huckrow, seconded by trustee Penfield. Any discussion? There are no discussions. All those in favor by the use sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Excuse me, bills. You'll have copies. Arsen, is there?
No addition, deletion.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Moore. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Correspondence.
We have one letter that was received in today. It was addressed to whom it may concern. I am writing because I am concerned about the increased flow of traffic on Church Street. With nicer weather approaching, it's getting hard to keep the kids inside. There are several children who live on the street, and there is also a daycare. As you probably are aware, we have a numerous amount of big trucks that are not taking Route 276, but traveling Golf Course Road instead. They then cut over onto Church Street and then to Pratt Street. I would like to have 2 children at play signs put up, one on each end of the street. Also, if possible, could the village police please enforce the speed limits that have been set for this area? Thank you for your consideration in this matter, and it's signed by Holly Jeanette. We also have a letter that was received in today. It was from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. It was addressed to Mayor Rivers. Dear Mayor Rivers, please find the enclosed fully signed cooperation agreement between the Village of Rouse's Point and the Department of Environmental Conservation. Upon 30 days notice to the department, as provided in the agreement, the village and its contractors may enter onto the state lands involved for purposes of installing the wastewater treatment outfall pipe. The state's Office of General Services is in the process of drafting a permanent easement over the state lands for the village. I will keep you apprised of this also. It was a pleasure working with you. Do not hesitate to call with any questions. Sincerely, Scott Abramson, Senior Attorney, Office of General Counsel, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And that's all there is for correspondence.
Thank you, Phil. Report of mayor and trustees. First item on my agenda is to request an executive session to discuss contract renewals. Roll call vote, trustee Huckrow. Aye. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
The mayor votes aye. And I have this proclamation to read. And it's a World War II Veterans Recognition Day proclamation. It says, whereas on December 7th, 1941, the largest war of all times and the most defining event of the 20th century began. And whereas the Americans devoted to liberty and to the country courageously answered the nation's call to arms, summarized by President Franklin D. Roosevelt by the words, "You bear with you the hope and confidence and the gratitude and the prayers of your family and your fellow citizens and your president." And whereas it's still believed today that the blessings of liberty require constant vigil and sacrifice, and whereas every man, woman, and child in the great nation owes a debt of gratitude to those who served their country so selfishly in the event that reshaped the world, and whereas these brave soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guard, and airmen were the beloved sons and daughters of our land, and whereas more than 400,000 Americans made the supreme sacrifice, laying down their lives so that others could live free, now therefore be it resolved that May 29th, 2004, as the nation's World War II memorial is dedicated in our nation's capital, I declare this day World War II's Veterans Recognition Day in our community. And be it further resolved that all citizens are asked to celebrate and contribute to the sacrifices of these men and women who have placed their lives in harm's way, protecting American values and preserving democracy for the world. And finally, be it resolved that the observance of World War II Recognition Day appropriately commemorate the history events and express the gratitude to those who gave so much for their fellow citizens. It was signed by me, and that will be presented to the Legion on 29th. And on the supplemental, I have the contract renewal for Earth Science. You all have copies, and we've had this for quite some time, since February. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to sign this.
Okay.
Motion made by John Huckrow,
Second.
seconded by trustee Penfield. And now, is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor vote, is it roll call? Roll call vote. Trustee Huckrow.
Aye.
Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And that's it for me. Trustee Huckrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item is to request an executive session to discuss public works employee, and I'll put that on the motion.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Huckrow, seconded by trustee Moore. Roll call vote. Trustee Huckrow.
Aye.
Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
And I'd like to request permission for the clerk to publish the legal notice concerning the publishing of the RFP on the downtown revitalization project.
Second.
Motion by trustee Huckrow, seconded by trustee Penfield. Is there any discussion?
This is, now is this just saying that we are advertising, or is this?
This is saying we're going to be advertising for consultants.
Okay, so if someone happens to pick this up in the paper, they can call us if they didn't
They
see one.
certainly
then-
can.
Okay, good, okay. Great.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And the third item is to request an executive session to discuss the union contract, and I'll put that in the form of motion.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Huckrow, seconded by trustee Penfield. Roll call vote. Trustee Huckrow.
Aye.
Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, that's all.
Thank you, trustee Huckrow. Trustee Penfield.
The first item I have tonight is an update on the sewer committee meeting that was held on Friday, April 23rd. John Carr was here, as well as Aaron Jarvis from his office. Doug Ferris was here, trustee Moore, myself, Tom, and Ernie from the wastewater treatment plant. And I think it was a very productive meeting. We got to see the plans in full scale. John went through everything with us. It really seems like all of the involved parties are really working in the same direction regarding the project and the plans and the financing. And it seemed like with very few modifications, things were ready to proceed. So I know, John, I haven't talked to you since then, but are we still on track for that?
Yeah, basically, since that submission, we made a small submission to DEC on the outfall sewer.
Right?
That was made sometime last week. The plan modifications, basically downscaling some of the project and taking out unnecessary items and adding minor littler items. We've been working feverishly on those, and I'm pleased to report that they're approximately 95% complete. And as we discussed in our meeting, the sewer committee meeting, we were going to then submit these to the DEC and the funding agency, EFC, for their preliminary comment. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't change a little bit afterwards, but we wanted to get their reviews underway and then hopefully sit down with the sewer committee either late this week or not next week, but perhaps the week after, just to finalize, keep the ball rolling, basically. I think we have a pretty good handle with what Tom and Ernie need up there. There's a few other methods and means to get what they need, and we just want to know where they're most comfortable in cutting the costs. And hopefully that project will steamroll right along. Kind of goes along with the water project, some of the discussions that we've had with the funding agency. We need to define that scope as best we can, get it into them, and get their village's application complete. With that in mind,
the funding application, get all their requirements and other items that they want to see into the project, get those into the bid documents and proceed along as best we can. A little bit of a hold up on some of their reviews, but certainly that's, I know me and the mayor are pretty frustrated with some of that, but it's a necessary evil.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bureaucracy of the state of New York don't allow you to move ahead.
So it's probably pointless to discuss a timeline then at this point?
No, I think we can make that submission this week, and I would suggest that maybe we could have a brief sewer committee meeting late this week, but it would probably be more productive a week, 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Basically after we hear from DEC, right?
Yeah, I think the outfall issue is going to finally come together real fast, so.
And that's with regard to the letter that you sent out that we had in our box. Sounds good. Is that it?
There's mine. Keep busy.
Okay, good. The second update that I have is regarding the meeting of the zoning board, which I guess was last Tuesday. Tom Renane was here to talk to them and to talk to myself and Mike Tatro about the last couple of local laws that they've been working on regarding the zoning changes and the regulations for adult entertainment businesses. Tom had some good suggestions on a couple of things that have been placed in the local law and the zoning changes, and we talked it over with the board, and he's going to have the updates back to them, hopefully for their May meeting. They're going to review it, sign off on it, and then it'll come to this board for the public hearing and passing of the local laws. My guess would be probably not until 4 weeks. I would say not the next meeting, but the following. We still have plenty of time with the moratorium for subdivision plans and the adult entertainment businesses, so we should be in good shape for that. We also chose kind of a path put together for the subdivision plans for the planning board, so he's going to be working on that as well with Mike Tatro. So things seem to be going pretty well in that direction to get those taken care of. And then the last update that I have deals with the issue that we talked about. I guess it was maybe the first meeting in March where I'd been approached by the elementary school here about their Bluebird Box program. And apparently I got an update this weekend from some members of the parent support group. They finished building them on Friday, and they'll be deciding at their next meeting different places where they can be. Apparently the ones that they hope to get to the village, the Bluebird expert that came to help them drove around a little bit and really actually thought that this property, in terms of the trees and the foliage, would be the best place to put them. So I think we'll probably end up with either 2 or 3 sets of 2. And we have instructions about how to put them up, and they'll be getting back to us after they have their next meeting. So I think it'll be a really nice thing for the kids who actually built them to be able to come down here if they're playing ball or playing soccer and actually see them in use. So that I should have an update on that at the next meeting.
Mosquito eaters.
I don't know if Bluebird get mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Do they? I don't
No,
know.
that's not their forte. Necessarily.
Well, that's what I was always.
They will eat some. They will eat insects. They're insect eaters, but they're not known as mosquito eaters.
Well, you would know more about that than I would, so you would have played with that for enough years or something.